Hey, welcome back guys. I'm Corey and this is my channel Get Sharp, where I sharpen your knives. We've got one of my favorites back in the shop. You know that logo. The beautiful, the balanced Zwilling. Oh yeah, man, these things, oh, just a work of art, you know? Interesting fun fact about the Zwilling knives or Hinkles. This is the oldest operating company on planet Earth right now. No company has been in business longer than this company right here. Isn't that crazy? And if you took business administration or business in college, you probably remember this logo, because this was one of the first designs that was ever trademarked in the history of humanity. So much rich history, and boy, man, just the Germans, man, and their knives, something else. Too bad the United States doesn't have anything. Well, yeah, nothing comes to mind in this category that competes. I think for balance though, and just like the way the knife feels in my hand, I think Global takes the cake on that one. Aesthetics, you know, in this category of knife, shun. But balance and just effectiveness and value, Zwilling. Love these. So let's go ahead, what should we sharpen first? Should we just go straight for the big one? I think we go straight for the big one. Let's do that. I've already pre-soaked my stone, so you guys don't have to watch that. And we already know these knives are made out of X50 stainless. So not the hardest knives in the world. Gonna give our aluminum oxide wheels here a break today. This calculator, let me tell you, I got this thing so dialed right now, and having all my measurements perfect is allowing me to put the exact edge angle on any knife, on any stone, every friggin' time, and it's just such a good feeling. It's so nice. Oh, we should, I'm not gonna do this in front of the camera, because if you watch my show, you already know I'm terrified of lasers and cameras. But let's see where these, see what the existing edge angle is. Oh, it's off the charts. It's beyond 25 degrees. Okay. Not a big surprise. That's just common with, you know, home honing with the honing rod or whatever kind of sharpening system people use at home. Let's do a quick measurement on our stone here. Oh, that cannot be right. Yep, it does this sometimes. It's -5 millimeters. 232.44. 232.44. Okay, that's our 10-inch Zwilling. Keeping a log there, so I'm measuring how much stone we're losing on every centimeter or millimeter of blade we sharpen. It's gonna be interesting trying to figure it out, because some blades are harder than others, but that's why I'm tracking the type of steel, the length of steel, and how much stone I lose while sharpening it. Okay. We've got an angle set for actually 16. I want 15. I put 16 by accident, but I want 15 to be the final edge angle. We're gonna go for 13.8. 13.8. And then once we finish thinning the burr, we're gonna move into full burr root removal, at which point we'll swap over to 15. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We are in business, my friends. We are in business. This knife is gonna be friggin' dangerous when I'm done with it. Let me tell you. I got another customer just like Sharim from yesterday. This gentleman like practices his cutting process in the kitchen. Like there's a whole, I guess I gotta look into this because I'm running into more people. This isn't one of my target markets, I'm learning. You know, this business is only a couple months old, but I'm hearing more and more about these guys telling me that they, you know, knife workmanship, or I forget what they call it, but I'm like, oh wow, there's, you know, I've had several customers that come here, they're into that, so I need to know what the heck this is. You know, I think it's just knife technique in the kitchen at the end of the day, but it's probably got a name. So we need to know about it because those are the people that are showing up to get their knives sharpened the most, or at least lately, and have the nicer knives, right? Let's go ahead and throw a little Sharpie ink on here just to be safe. You know the drill. You know the drill. And we're good to go. This knife has one chip on the entire bevel, and it's not that bad. So we should blow through this one quite quickly. The knife owner, super cool guy. Just so happened that I was in his area today for work. I was able to swing by and have a quick visit on my lunch, pick these up, take them home, get them sharp after work. And then he's gonna meet me sometime this week during work to pick them up. Reached out to my friends in the aerospace industry who have the diamond belt. That caught my eye on my last visit. And they've got a couple projects they're working on right now, but you know, deadlines and such, but he thinks by the end of the week or early next week he'll have my belts ready. And then once we have those belts, we just need a shun knife to walk through the door, or something of equal hardness, to test out this new belt. We talked about the pricing of them. They're definitely not cheap. They're not going to be cheap, but the idea is that them being diamond, and assuming I use them correctly, they're gonna last a lot longer than any other belt, and we should find value through longevity or durability. So I'm super excited for these belts because I've not seen any sharpener use them before. I'm sure they're somewhere buried in YouTube. You know, what are the chances that, you know, I'm the first one to ever come across this specific type of belt. Pretty unlikely, but I've never seen it on the web before, so I'm pumped. I'm excited. All right. You know, I get a little when I see this type of handle situation, I'm like, there's no way I can bump the handle, but oh, it's actually kind of close. Kind of close. So maybe a millimeter. And as I grind the steel down, who knows if that's gonna get closer, so let's play it safe here. I was having this talk with my customer yesterday. You guys saw the shun, or you're about to. I just edited it, in fact, like an hour ago. But those Victorinox knives, they have that really ugly handle setup that protrudes outwards, and you're unable to sharpen the tip of the heel on the Tormix system. Real bummer. But nonetheless, we need to be aware and, you know, not destroy our customers' beautiful knives. Kind of crazy how much business we've had recently. I'm not used to having to true the stones as much, you know. I was doing it maybe once a month at the most, but now I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna have to do that almost, I might have to do it once a week. A lot of these customers are just like me too. They explained to me that they bought sharpening stones and they gave it a try and just couldn't hold that angle correctly, freehanding it. It's really an art form, you know? I should test myself though, because I've never had a way to measure the edge angle that I desired when I used to spend a lot of time on those stones. But now that I have a way to measure that edge angle, in fact, it would be fun to see these guys that look like masters online measure their angles. Maybe I'll have to send a knife into one of them to get sharpened, and then we measure it here in the shop and see how accurate they are by hand, because man, that's a talent right there to be able to do that. I can feel a burr in some of it, so we're getting close to being finished with the grinding process. Start focusing on that tip a little bit there. Alright, let's do one more on this side, and I think we're good to go with the bevel. Right. Well, I can definitely feel the burr about halfway across the blade, but from here to the point, no burr yet. Excuse me. I still got a little bit more to go here. This knife owner is friends with a knife maker who goes by the name Dos Gatos Forge, somewhere in the southwest. So we're gonna pull up Dos Gatos here in a minute and check out those knives. Sounds like he does a lot of decorative Damascus. So I know I don't have the biggest viewership in the world on YouTube, but if I can support another small business owner and put his name out there and his work, I'm gonna do it. Because I would appreciate the same if if he was doing what I'm doing but making knives and someone came through and said that they got their knife sharpened by me up here. I would love for him to mention me. Okay. Looks like just the tippy tip at this point. I really gotta stop wiping the knives on my shirt. The other day, Tanya and I went out to dinner for my niece's 16th birthday, and Tanya says, "You smell like steel." I was like, "Oh, that's good." She's like, "No, you don't want to smell like metal when you go out." I've worked in banking my whole life, so smelling like steel sounds pretty cool to me. I think my stone here might be a little bit glazed from the shun knife. I ran that shun on this stone yesterday because, like, I get a guaranteed 16 degrees on this stone, right? So I decided to bring it over here to make the bevel line before I went to the bell grinder to keep the line honest, right? Make the line, Sharpie it up, go over there, and then do the Sharpie test to make sure it's perfect. And boy, that knife turned out so good. I'm just so impressed by it. I need to start working on resurfacing the knives and polishing them, getting rid of all the scratches. Because yesterday knife was beautiful. Beautiful knife, but it had all these scratches. Who knows how they happened? There was a couple nasty long ones, vertical ones across the right above the cheek there, and how cool would it be if I could be like, hey, for $5 or $10, whatever it costs, I can make that. Get rid of all those scratches. That's a service, that's an upsell opportunity for me, a way for me to make a couple extra bucks. So I need to take advantage of it. I just never put any time into that kind of thing, but I'm willing to learn. Okay, so I don't know, this tip is being very stubborn. So it appears from my eyeballs, at least, unless I'm actually looking at a burr and don't realize it. Yeah, I've got a burr there. I wonder why it's gleaming like that. Well, better safe than sorry. Let's just check. Almost all of my customers are new customers. I've been doing this been in business for 2 months now, so I need to make a good impression on all of them. Okay, so the burr is way more pronounced on the flat side, on the flat part of the blade. So let's just do a little bit more time up top, just to kind of even it all out. I think I'm just gonna focus towards the tip, and then we'll do a bevel set in a second. I tend to do really light pressure on the point, the knife point, while I'm doing this, because you can really screw up the tips if you're not careful. So I need to be very mindful of whether or not I'm developing a burr up in that region. I'm like 95% sure I saw a burr all the way to the tip, but it looked kind of small. So we'll just play it safe and do some passes on that region before we start the next process of honing the edge. All right, so now we're gonna do one final set of the bevel. And I hate for my videos to be repetitive, you know, because I know some of you have heard me say these things a million times. But I appreciate your understanding, because Adam, the owner of this knife, he definitely hasn't seen my videos, I don't think. He didn't mention it anyways. And who knows, maybe he's never seen the sharpening process on a machine like this. So I'm really speaking to Adam here, because I want him to feel confident that, you know, he can refer his friends and family to me. Last thing you want to do is say, hey, go check this guy out. He did a great job for me. And then they do, and then they do a terrible job, and they're like, what are you talking about, bro? That guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, good. We have a burr from heel to point. Next step is to swap this stone out. This stone is a low grit stone, and its purpose is to remove material quickly. But now that we've done that step, I don't want to remove material quickly. It's time to get into precision mode. We've created a burr, and what I want to do is I want to thin that burr out. My customer yesterday, so if you're interested in this process of me going from 13.8 degree grind and then thinning the burr at 13.8 and then stepping up to, what was it, 15 degrees. I know my first question when I heard about this process, read about this process, was like, why don't you just go to 15 degrees? It makes no sense. It does. I got an opportunity to explain this to Sharon yesterday. I got a paper clip right here, right? You've all held a paper clip. You know it's somewhat hard, okay? Let's just say that this untouched paper clip is hard. I need you to tear a piece off with your hand. What are you gonna do? You're gonna take the paper clip and you're gonna start bending it. Steel is somewhat placid, like it's like plastic. It's plasticity, I don't know the words, but it's malleable, and I just ripped it in part, okay? So what we're left with here is this little portion on the tip, okay? That portion on the tip that I just tried to Sharpie, but maybe that Sharpie's dead. Let's try this one. Oh, maybe all my Sharpies are dead. You get the point though. The very tip of this is identical right now to the apex of this knife. I know we bent this by hand and we ripped it off, but the same pressure and power just happened to this on this stone. So everything that's left over, you see that little, like, the top part's all bent and shit? That's from all the back and forth, you know, the moving it, you know, making it malleable, and then finally it breaks off. These two are in the same state right now. So right underneath that burr is a bunch of metal that was just like pressed on and had all this pressure placed on it. But underneath it, so if we want to put a good strong apex on this blade, what we need to do is create the apex underneath the burr. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna thin out the area where we just did all the bending. And once that's nice and thinned out, then we're gonna come in at a little bit of a steeper angle. So we're gonna thin it out at 13.8 degrees. And then we're gonna do one more round of thinning, but this time we're gonna do it, or honing, but this time we're gonna do it at 15 degrees. And that's gonna take all that plastic material that we created from the grinding. We thinned it out, and now when we go at 15 degrees, it's just gonna fall right off, and we're gonna be left with all the good stuff underneath that's hard. Well, I doubt that shows up, but our apex is gonna end up down here. And that's why I can't just jump to 15 degrees right off rip, because the amount of pressure, I don't have the time. So when we bent this by hand, we just went burp, 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 and we bent it off in a couple seconds. You know what I mean? And I when I grind, I need to be thinking about being efficient and quick. So this thing's moving at 120 revolutions per minute. We're putting pressure on it, so it's creating that plus the plastic zone of this steel. And because I created that, I need to thin that zone out slowly, and then I need to chop off the head of that plastic zone and do it perfectly, and then we have a nice, super strong, clean apex. I hope I explained that well. I wasn't planning on doing that today. I had planned using illustrations and, you know, better language, but here we are. I just did it. And we're gonna cool the camera down for a minute, so I'll be right back. All right, we got our stone soaked. I've already set the angle. Guess I should double check and make sure I did 13.8. Yeah, I did. Okay. Just taking that second to double check makes less work for myself. Look at that. Hopefully that shows up. Trying to get the camera to focus on it, but it won't. Okay. Well, if you can't see it, the stone just wiped that Sharpie right off the bevel perfectly, because I got this thing tuned. It's so dialed right now. I just love it. You know you're a knife nerd when you're calling bevels beautiful. Naked women and bevels. Bring the camera in a little closer. Hopefully that's a good shot there, good angle. Closer and see what kind of sounds we can hear. Let the blade put you to sleep. Focus on the sound of the water. Now turn your attention to the X50 CRMO V15 as the aluminum oxide wheel chews it away. Allow yourself to drift away. You're happy. Your life is good. You're worth it. That you're relaxed from the soothing sounds of GetSharp.com, find yourself wanting to hit the like button because you know Corey works so hard and he deserves a simple 2-second favor. Great. You hit the like button. Now, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. You need this soothing, beautiful blade sharpening in your life. Isn't it mesmerizing? You're worth it. All right, guys. You are worth it. I'm joking, you're not. It's playing into the corny. I don't know what took over me right there. I watch too much TV. All right, let's see how we're doing. Man, that looks good. Let me show you. Let me show you what we're talking about. I'm not used to the camera being so low to the ground though. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Oh, I gotta take it off manual mode. Ooh, I was just through the camera. I saw one little spot where I'm like, oh, I don't like that. It's actually right there in the center, right there. Oh, we're out of focus. Anyways, we gotta fix that spot. I felt it too. At one point, I came down and I was too far like this. And that's all it takes, and it puts a little extra pressure on one spot, and your honing is not as clean after that. Or no, it was this side, and I just came down too much. So I'm gonna make a quick mark so I know where that spot's at, and I basically gotta just hone it out of there. Otherwise, when I go to my cut test, I'm gonna have a little snag, so we might as well take care of it now. It's actually kind of cool knowing, like, I mean, I don't know this without a doubt, but I'm pretty sure I'm putting more attention on these blades than anyone within the 25-mile radius. There's no way this business doesn't like blow up. It's impossible. I think the only way is if, you know, a couple more guys pop up in my neighborhood doing the same thing. I'm surprised though, like I've had no customers from my neighborhood. I've had one. My neighbors don't even know. I put my service on Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app. But it was just kind of like a little generic thing, you know? They just don't realize that the ease of sharpening the ease of cutting all the meat and veggies at night could be so much easier. All right, that little spot's getting better. I still need to spend more time on it. So we're currently honing 1.2 degrees below the final apex angle. I really hope I did a good job explaining that whole concept. I need to spend more. I'll do an actual video though on it too, because I need to use the correct terminology and leave no room for misconception. I basically had to polish that pressure spot out. Took a while, probably 10 passes to completely rid it. I regraded the, dressed up the stone with the 400 grit diamond plate, and that made quicker work of it. But now I'm just kind of, so to speak, resetting the bevel. I'm gonna go super flat on both sides before we move to the second to last step, which is the final edge angle of 15 degrees. My cheap ass saw that little chip fall off. I don't know if you noticed that, but a chip of chromium fell off. And watch this. I'm gonna save that for later. This stick of chromium was not cheap. It was damn near 40 bucks. Good news is seems like it's gonna last me the better part of the year. All right, we got that Sharpie on there. Perfect. I did some research on how to live stream from the garage. I need what's called a capture card. Now I'm just trying to figure out which capture card to get. It's kind of complicated because I'm not even gonna go into it. It's complicated. But we've got enough money in the bank right now. You know, right now, what I was thinking, I'm gonna set up a savings account for the Get Sharp. And I wanna have like $2,000 just sitting in there as insurance, kind of like a bond in a way. In case I were to mess up a $2,000 knife, it's like, boom, there it is. Forget about it. We've accounted for this situation. Not have to feel stressed. It would suck, you know, to have to do that. It will never happen. I will never mess up an expensive knife, let alone a knife, ever again. That serrated knife, we're not touching them no more. But anyways, just kind of have like a bond fund for a mistake that might happen, like a legal liability, so to speak. So we're gonna start putting a little money aside, and we're gonna hit that savings goal in the next month. I almost bought the sharpness tester today, but I pulled the brakes when shipping was like $40. What's going on with shipping? Does anybody notice what, like, every time you try to buy something direct from, like, Amazon, obviously shipping's pretty much free, but everywhere I go, I try to purchase a special pivoting jig from some outfit in Canada. They wanted $60 for shipping. I was like, what? And they were like, tariffs. I was like, no. I wrote them a whole report on how, like, whoever told them that was wrong, and they came back and they said, well, we can do $19. I'm like, thank God I asked. In that whole situation, I haven't purchased it, because now I'm on pause, like, man, who are these guys? And then it happened again. I was buying belts from someone, and 8 belts was like $30 for shipping. I'm like, in what world are we living in where shipping is all of a sudden that expensive? Maybe I'm out of the loop and something happened, but I'm never paying more for shipping than a damn product. Nope, I won't do it. Sorry, Adam, I don't always get like that, but that's who I am. Little taste of my true colors there. I'm not against the tariffs, but I feel like companies are taking advantage of it. Tillamook cheese, $14 for a block of Tillamook cheese at the grocery store. You're based out in Tillamook, Oregon. You're not importing this. There's no tariff. I mean, I know there's tariffs on whatever you gotta get to your factory, but like, come on, that's insane. I don't know. Maybe the world's way worse than I thought right now. But god dang. can't double my prices over here. Like I could not charge people double what I'm charging them now. I don't even know if they would come to me if I did. Oh, this towel is wet. Ugh, jeez. We're going to Kangaroo for a second here now. Pass on that. All right, we got the knife all nice and cleaned up, looking pretty. Let's go ahead and do ourselves a sharpness test, starting with the U-line paper. Got no doubt this guy's gonna be nasty. Oh. Thank you. All right, guys, so I've got this thing all cleaned up and looking pretty. Time to do a sharpness test. We have a sheet of U-line paper here. Go ahead and give it a rip. Oh. Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. All right, let's go ahead and check it out on some cigarette paper. Yeah, I saved these. So cheap, I'm sorry. Can't help it. Can't help it. Money's not easy to grab, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Jeez. Oh boy, I'm happy with this one. That's a sharp knife from hill to tip. Adam, enjoy, my friend. This is one of my best. Well guys, don't forget to slash that like button for me. My goal right here is the world's sharpest knife. I need equipment in order to do that, so please stab that like button for me. That little stab goes a long ways. Don't forget to subscribe. I got about 5 videos coming out every 7 days. We're working hard over here. All right, see ya.